Hello, hello. So, at some stage in your career, maybe this is something you're experiencing right now, but you might start to wonder if you should take a big leap of faith, go for that career of your dreams, or if you're better off playing it safe, maybe now is not the time, etc. So, this is something that I've seen a lot of people struggle with, and it becomes this whole dilemma. Play it safe versus go for the dream. Is the dream even realistic? Is the timing right now? All this kind of stuff. It sounds great, but maybe it's too good to be true. Maybe it won't work out for me. Maybe I'll do it, but not immediately. Maybe tomorrow, the next week, the next year, the next 10 years, right? And so the really important thing, because there's something that's key that's missing in this kind of a decision making, which is that you should never be playing it safe at the expense of the thing that you want, like at the expense of your goal. And so a lot of people are into really unproductive thinking. And I've talked about this before, positive thinking versus productive thinking. Thinking positive is not necessarily productive. The focus on the goal and whatever thoughts, whatever thinking, whatever actions that get you towards your goal, that is productive. And surprise, surprise, that's what's actually going to get you to your goal. So it's a bit similar in this dilemma where people are going, should I play it safe or should I go for my dream? And really the answer, there's no debate over it. The answer is, of course, you should go for your dream. Like, that's the goal, right? Why are you aiming for something that is not the dream? Why would you aim for something that's just subpar, that's just mediocre, that's just, oh well, at least I have a good paycheck, but even if I don't really enjoy the work, or at least I don't have a long commute, or at least this, at least that. Like, is that really your goal, or is that just making do? That's like surviving versus thriving, and that's fine. That's great that you can survive in that circumstance. That's great that maybe you've achieved a certain level in your career. That's great that you've achieved a certain salary. Whatever it is you've achieved, that's great. Nobody's saying that isn't. But then, if you have this desire on your heart to maybe you're in boring work right now, you're tired of being bored, maybe there's other things that are bothering you about where you are, like you don't really feel that fulfillment, you don't feel that passion, you're starting to feel drained by the end of the day because you're just not that into it, you're not that into the work that you're doing. All of those things, that means that, okay, that's not the goal. You have a new goal, which is okay. Like, give yourself permission to go for your goal. That's what successful people do. They get honest about, hey, you know what I really, really want? Forget about what other people are saying, but my dream is, to both have money and do work I love and this and that. And yes, I have a good salary, but you know what? I want to make even more money. Why not? Like, whatever it is that you want, give yourself permission to set it at as the goal, and then you get into risk mitigation, because I know that sometimes those big dreams, those big goals can feel scary. What if I go for that new career and then I stop, I have to give up my paycheck, or I have to go back to school, and then I'm going to have to, invest in a new degree, and then I'm going to be what if I'm out of work? What if I can't get a job? And then some people have these fears, like, what if I end up homeless on the street because this new career didn't work out? Like, these are literally fears that people have, and they're usually pretty successful people, so a lot of times they're not that rational. Like, chances are you're not going to end up homeless on the street. You're going to be okay, and you're resourceful, and you'll be able to get yourself on your feet again, and whatever. The point is that, yes, there are obviously risks whenever you go for a goal, whenever you go for something new, but there's also a lot of risks to staying where you are right now. Every day that you go without feeling totally fulfilled, without growing, even if it was a goal that worked for you in the past, if you're not working towards a new goal, if you're not creating that career on your terms, then it's like every day I see people's confidence being chipped away day in and day out. You can't put a price on your confidence. You can't put a price on your happiness, on your fulfillment. Like, what is the point of life if you're spending 70% of your time on the planet clocking in and out at a job that you no longer feel passionate about? Like, what is the point, right? And so the bigger risk is actually staying where you are. And then people say, yeah, I know, I should just feel the fear and do it anyway. I know, Dahlia, but it's still scary, right? Or there's still big risks. I still don't want to end up without a paycheck or whatever. So the key thing there is that you aim for your goal and then you risk mitigate. Risk mitigation is not the same thing as playing it safe. Nothing is safe. Look at the world we're living in right now. Anything can happen. People are being laid off left, right, and center. Nothing in the world is guaranteed. Nothing is safe. None of us was expecting the stuff that happened this year to happen. Who knows what's going to happen next year? I think a lot of people are sitting back waiting for things to just go back to normal. You know, who knows if things are ever going to be normal? I don't think things will ever be normal. Next year, something else will happen. The market's going to keep changing. Definitely, it won't be the same market as it was last year. And so things are ever evolving. Nothing is safe. There's no such thing as playing it safe. All you can do is focus on what you want, give yourself permission to go for it, and then risk mitigate. So what does risk mitigation look like? Well, obviously this depends on you and your situation, but that's things like actually having options available to you. Like if you've been with the same employer for the past 10 years and you don't really have a very broad contact base, let's say, well, you know, that's a big risk. So you can risk mitigate by diversifying your contacts, by boosting your reputation within the job market, making sure you're in that hidden job market so people know you, understand your value, want to hire you. You're not just someone who's dependent on job applications. These are things a lot of people don't really think about when they're in a job. Even if the job isn't that great, they just kind of feel like, well, I have this job, so I don't need to do job hunting activities, all that stuff, right? I do that when I get really desperate, when I really hate my job, then I'll do that stuff. Well, if you're risk mitigating, you have a consistent system to boost your value in the marketplace without having to job hunt, because we all know how terrible it is when you're laid off and all of a sudden you have no job and now you're job hunting and you're in that kind of desperation energy, and that's not obviously what anyone wants. And it doesn't look very good to employers. So risk mitigate, boost your value, increase your reputation in the job market. Sometimes it can help, yes, think about the worst possible case scenario. So if I go for this goal, and again, a lot of times people have an idea that if I go for this goal, that means I quit everything and I start from scratch and I have no degree and I'm going to have no money and I just have to jump into this, like jump off the cliff and just see what happens with no parachute. You don't have to jump with no parachute. Like there's going to be a leap of faith, there's going to be some fear, but you can get yourself prepared with the right tools, the right equipment, so that when you make that jump, nothing can go wrong, right? You have those risks taken into account and you're prepared for them. So I just think our brains get stuck a lot of times in this dilemma. It's this or it's that. It's safe or it's dangerous. But actually safe is not safe. Definitely not as safe as most people think it is. And danger usually is not as dangerous as a lot of people think it is. A lot of times the danger zone, that new, just because it's new, people think it's dangerous. But a lot of times if you really think clearly about it, that kind of crazy career dream that you have where you're earning a living and also doing something that you love, that sort of scary, dangerous, unrealistic dream you might have, actually it can be safer, because remember, people who are passionate about their work, who actually enjoy what they do, they show up better, they're more productive, they're not procrastinating on their tasks because they're actually excited to do their tasks, they go the extra mile. Guess who gets paid more money? Guess who gets more job offers? Those people. It's much easier to build your reputation when you're actually super passionate about what it is that you do. So that's my message. Just remember, risk mitigation versus playing it safe. Playing it safe is not going to get you to any goals. Risk mitigation and focus on the goal and permission to go for that goal is what is going to allow you to do some incredible, incredible things in this world, especially during the time that we're in right now. So hope you guys are well. Let me know if you have any ideas for the next video. I base these off of whatever questions you're bringing to me. I've been talking to a lot of you guys on career roadmap sessions, so I'm learning from your different situations, getting ideas from there. But if you have a specific request based on whatever situation you are in right now, whatever questions you have, then let me know and we can discuss it in the next video. Okay guys, see you next time.